Hello there, welcome back again to the best procurement channel in the world, of course with your host Lerato. Today I want to talk about procurement challenges faced by all the supply chain leaders. Obviously the world faces a lot of challenges, businesses face a lot of challenges, procurement is no different from any sales type of challenges. Those guys need to chase money, right? We also have challenges, and today I want us to chat a little bit about that and how to find the solutions, because wow, all of us go through these things, and why not chat and just create a platform we can find solutions. So I want us to chat about that today and see what it is that we can do to overcome these challenges, because for me I feel like if you cannot overcome a challenge, it will forever remain a pain in your neck, and that's not what we want. All right, so let's start and let's go into it. First things first, this one is no brainer: red tape. Obviously, people think that being in procurement is always red tape. When someone comes and engages you from the business, they always think that you're probably one of those people that do shady shenanigans. Do you understand? And some people approach you with that preconceived mindset that, of course you're going to do this. Of course you're going to do that. Of course there's this thing. You guys are favoring people. You guys are doing 1, 2, and 3. Or you may be dealing with people with perception that says that, all you procurement people are just the same. Can you imagine being painted with the same brush with other people who are not operating in a moral manner, or people who are doing fraudulent activities and briberies and all of those things? So red tape is one of the challenges I feel procurement professionals face. And what is it that you can do? Of course, firstly, you need to educate people that, listen, it's not everyone who does these things. We don't deny the fact that these things are there, they're happening, but the businesses in a world, can you imagine this whole world being run in an inefficient manner, unethical manner? Where would all our economies be? You and I are responsible to educate and to socialize our procurement processes, and even why we do what we do, because some people don't know, don't understand. Some people just learn from, or rather they've heard other people say this, and it becomes a culture, becomes a norm, and it is our responsibility to educate and to bring about awareness. Secondly is inaccurate data. Data is a problem in almost every company. There's never 100% accuracy of data. Our master data management is not 100% accurate, and that affects our supplier reporting, and to some degree can also go to the extent of affecting our inventory levels. You can have more, you can have less, and your books are not balancing properly. So if your data is not right, that's always a challenge. And some of the other options that you can think about reducing data inaccuracy, although you might not get it to 100%, but obviously we're all striving to reduce, right, is to implement data management systems, to control your spend data. There are lots of systems out there that a company can go out and tender for and look for, and make sure that you're reporting correctly. Even our BEE stats, you understand? We can automate that to make sure that we're reporting accordingly and minimize the inaccuracy of data. Whether it's warehouse, whether it's in the logistics field, whether it's your actual type of procurement services across the business, you can minimize data inaccuracy. Obviously, having the right type of ERP solution and having the right partners that you would have sourced correctly, and make sure that your KPIs are strict and they're straightforward, and your BI dashboard becomes much better. All right. Another one is lack of automation. Just touching back from what I just mentioned now. Lack of automation causes a lot of errors for procurement professionals, or even become more inefficient, because then you're dealing with a lot of manual processes. You're taking longer to finish contracts. You're taking longer to finish tenders. You're just not becoming more efficient, driving business efficiency. So automation includes things like e-sourcing, e-auctions, supplier portals to sort of like manage that side of the business, and also automating and how we do our day-to-day. All right, instead of you being working on this Excel document the whole freaking day, you can obviously have a report that is developed for you on the system. Then you can just quickly report and make sure that you deliver. The more we automate our procurement systems and our procurement processes, it becomes easier and better for professionals to think about strategic things, to think about what more to do that can add more value. When you work on really mundane work, it does not motivate. It's really not motivating. So as a challenge, look for solutions that can easily automate the type of process so that you can solve problems, and then you focus on more strategic type of projects and more strategic issues or more strategic challenges, you are now in the business of solving problems, and of course you add value. I suppose then digitizing procurement process is also one of them. This means your online forms, this means your requisition process. You know, if you improve your procure to pay process, my God, you become the best friends of some of your stakeholders in the business. Trust me. Another challenge, guys, that we have is maverick spend. Oof. Or let's call it dark purchasing, irregular expenditure, a spend without a contract. That is a challenge across all organizations. No one can stand and say, I don't have these kind of problems. I'll look at you and say, I wonder if really you're reporting correctly. So maverick spend is just a challenge. It is upon us procurement leaders and supply chain leaders to find solutions around how can we really reduce non-compliance or irregular expenditure. What controls do we have in place to ensure that we minimize, obviously, the percentage of maverick spend? And for me is, what controls are you putting in place, either as a department or even yourself, you know, to manage your own contracts and your own spend, or your own category. And two is making sure the business understands the impact of purchasing without a contract. I mean, you are faced with risk of non-delivery, someone you cannot put a liability. You know, when people do things but they don't understand, right? If you've managed to quickly buy this thing and now you must be chasing a delivery from the supplier, and people are just not coming to party, how are you going to hold them accountable without a contract? If you show them the consequences of the decisions, my God, believe me, someone's going to think that, yeah, ne? How can legal defend a supply issue when no one really understands the consequences? No one can hold no one accountable, even the supplier themselves, actually. And here's what I challenge you to do, guys. Educate your suppliers on your processes, not just your internal guys. Educate your suppliers on your processes. Make them understand the impact of accepting a purchase order without a contract. If they invoice and there's a delay in the invoicing process, how are you going to help them? Or maybe that person that gave them that PO or rushed it or whatever, the business that briefed them, like, hey, we need this thing to be done by next week. Can you please come to party? And of course, someone from X company wants me to do this. Of course, I'm going to take the job, right? And you are sure. What if that person tomorrow gets hit by a bus and they're gone? Who's going to say, oh yeah, you had a pending invoice from this? You're going to be sent pillar to post, and that time, your cash flow, it's gone really down. So what are you going to do? You see, if sometimes suppliers don't also understand, so it's like a joint type of KPI, I could call that, or rather it's a joint effort between the supplier and the business to make sure that we reduce our dark purchases. Hey, another thing is simplify your procure processes. Simplicity is the best, as we always know. So simplify meaning, in all, you know, we are known for taking forever. We are known to not be responding to customers. We just take procurement, just takes long. Procurement is the police of the organization. People don't like procurement. Why? Because our processes are not simple. And obviously, this is one of the challenges that we face, that, guys, I'm trying, you know, like people are just complaining. Stop. Think, how can I simplify this process for you? How can I simplify this type of initiative? How can I make it easier? In that way, you become more innovative, and as a result, you are adaptive, you are agile leaders, and you are a solution maker to the business. Another challenge is poor supplier relationships. You know why this is a challenge? It's because sometimes I feel like procurement professionals have distanced themselves from their very strategic suppliers, and two, not implementing a supplier relationship management in their organization. Not all organizations have an SRM department, because some of them are not really that mature, or maybe it is also managed by the very same procurement professionals and you don't have time. How do you manage all your suppliers, maybe like 500? Obviously, you can't manage all 500 and then still do your other type of day-to-day business. But this is one of the challenges now, that, oh yes, Lerato, you sourced this person and this person is not delivering, this one is not doing that. And the challenge is, I can't manage everyone at the same time. What are you doing to at least check your strategic suppliers that you know what, from I do my 80-20 analysis spend, I have, 80% of my spend going to this 20% of suppliers, right? Those are my focus areas. And if I focus on those ones and I develop some SRM models or principles around methodologies, I I can drive some better supplier relationships, in a way, and also ensure that there is no disruption in supply, there's no issues in my suppliers' performance because I'm managing them. This is in the instance where there is no a singular type of SRM managing those. And even if there is, you can always look and even if there is, you can always look for suppliers that are really in your strategic nature and make sure that you develop those relationships, because if you do not, believe me, you will always be faced with problems, issues, escalations, challenges, and you just don't know where to start, where to stop. I mean, this is even heavier on manufacturing, production, where like what's about time, there is no time to be dingling and just diddly and be playing around. All you need to do now is like, we need this to be done by when. You won't be fighting with your production manager, your factory manager, you won't be fighting with the inventory managers, because you have developed good supplier relation management principles and models for yourself, in the absence obviously of a particular type of SRM methodology. Thanks guys, this was beautiful, and I believe that this can help someone to start finding solutions in some of these challenges, because for as long as you don't look for solutions, it will forever remain a challenge, it will forever frustrate you, and that will make you not enjoy what you're doing and affect your performance ultimately. I'm all for performance delivery, guys. How are you standing out? Rather be focusing on solutions versus always be feeling like, oh my god, no one gets satisfied about what I do, business never gets satisfied, and then you become enemies. You don't have to be. Just look for solutions and make sure that you solve your problems. Okay, thank you so much. It was beautiful having this conversation, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers guys. Bye.